Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Morr-isMoore podcast. I'm your host, Shaq Morris.
And I'm your host, Morr-isMoore.
And thank you guys for tuning in. We're getting a lot of engagement through our first video, which is a good look, right?
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, so thank you to all the supporters. And first off, I know you can notice something different in here from the first episode. What could it be?
Where is it?
Actually, it's this hat.
It's that.
If you need and you're looking for some merch, go on any of our, social medias or whatever that's connected to us. You find a link definitely below this video. And also this beautiful, wonderful, huge tapestry. Look at that.
The unveiling.
I feel like it made us more official.
It does. It makes me feel a lot better.
A lot better.
I feel like we're in our podcast room now.
Yeah. So it's legit.
It's official now.
It's official.
It's tight.
And yes, this is the same day. I just had a change of clothes. Race just got the same hoodie on.
Yeah, this is a different day we're recording, but I am pretty much the same as the first episode.
No, I'm joking.
I will be getting a Morr-isMoore podcast hoodie, so it'll be that.
When would that be in, by the way?
On the hoodie. Next episode for sure should be, this is a Sunday, probably Wednesday we'll have it.
And we still haven't got so our first episode, you probably didn't see us on social media pushing it out, talking about it, and saying, hey, it's dropping this day or anything like that. We kind of just went on the whim, right?
Yeah. All right. Right now we're trying to do them weekly. Once we kind of get our flow going, we've had some technical issues behind the scenes. We've been here for about 4 hours trying to get the stuff to record again. So if you're seeing this, it recorded properly, which fingers crossed. Fingers freaking crossed. But, yeah, whole bunch of weird stuff happening. So we're trying to get the audio levels fixed, the video kind of being centered, stuff like that. So.
And this is something that, really weird happened just before we started shooting our second episode. We had these radio waves coming in we couldn't record properly because they were just in the background talking about Russia and some other stuff.
Yeah, it's like an AM radio.
Yeah, for sure, Mr. Logical. But to me, they already trying to get us, because especially what we're talking about today. Today we're going to be taking you guys. Thank you for coming through the rabbit hole to be here with us. But we're going to take you deep down this rabbit hole, okay? We're going to take you guys deeper into some things, that I believe people need to have a little knowledge about.
Most definitely.
For sure.
A lot of stuff some people have heard of some, not some of others, no details here, some details there, that kind of a deal.
Yeah. And so me and Race, we've definitely done some extensive research on these things. So just to let you know, it's going to be very hard to find some of this stuff out there, but definitely some things that you can look up, search for yourself, and dig a little deeper, So I just want to welcome you guys, forget everything and just try to open your mind and think, okay? And today we're going down the rabbit hole of lies. So do you have any lies that that cross your mind?
Well, so with the idea of lies, we're also talking about first ever conspiracies.
Mm-hmm.
So what opened the window for us to believe in some, be intrigued by others? That's what we're diving deep into. This is episode 2, but realistically, episode 1 of really kicking things off. Pilot was explaining what was going on.
You got to know us a little bit, what we believe in.
Yeah, different views on stuff. Just kind of give an overarching idea of who we are.
For sure.
And
one lie for me that's it's super obvious, right? But for some it's probably not. You just probably believe we went to the moon and you accept that. But on a mass scale, when you talk about lies where it's in front of everyone's face and they letting you know hey, we're doing this, we did this, we're here, right? That's something to me landing on the moon, Apollo 13, Apollo 11, 13, 11,
I
13.
thought it was 11.
Apollo 11. Sorry, I don't know. I went skip straight to 13. Anyway, any of the
In the
Apollos.
edit, I'll put a little asterisk, whatever
Thank
it is,
you.
if it is. So.
But in any of the Apollos, they say that we lost that technology and we can't go back to the moon. I find that really, really suspicious.
You see, the India went to the moon recently, supposedly.
Supposedly.
So
They
I mean, if
landed-
India can do it, I would be very surprised that we couldn't. Just to be fair.
Devil's advocate over here, okay?
Yeah.
But, it's crazy that you say that. So, do you think we landed on the moon?
I don't think so.
Now, I know you, Mr. Logical, what makes you think that we didn't?
So, like anybody that's kind of interested in conspiracy stuff like that growing up, to have an open mind, or just, just intrigued by this stuff, you've seen videos like, why is the flag moving this way? Why are the shadows going this way and that way when they're not lined up? Just little indications that didn't make sense, and some of that stuff was probably talked away with some logic and some science, which is fair. But what it really comes down to, especially, is, well, like, who's videoing them leaving, and who videoed the guy doing the first walk on the moon if nobody else walked on the moon prior to him.
You know,
inconsistencies.
to me, the biggest question of all of landing on the moon, the first thing, if it was me, if I put that first foot on the moon, before I do anything else, I would want to look back and see where I came from. And look at Earth.
Yeah.
And that's something they never did.
No.
They never.
They could have literally turned to that direction. Exactly.
Oh, we're here. Look at all these rocks. Watch us jump around. Look at this.
And you'd
put
think,
this flag down.
You ever seen a picture of the Earth from the moon?
I mean, not a real one.
Well, of course, right? As far as we're concerned. Well, when they do those pictures, though, you only see like what looks like a quarter of the Earth, but also it looks like you're looking at the moon, which doesn't make any sense. Because if it's so much smaller than the Earth itself, then you would see it much larger from the moon itself.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of distance or whatnot, like it's larger. It literally is larger. So if we're looking at the moon and it's such a size, then we're on the moon, we're looking at the Earth, it should be such a size greater. And it doesn't ever appear that way.
But it's also, every time when they look back, it's a lot of land masses and less of that. They say the Earth is, however, 80% water, right? Or
it's 70%.
70%. Yeah. And so when you look back and you see huge land masses and something is off, like Africa is fully in this one freaking picture that you're showing of Earth.
Yeah.
And so how is that possible? It's not making sense or adding up. Like, where's your...
The perspective of looking at the Earth from the outside is never consistent.
Never.
There's pictures lined up you can look online all the time, and it's this thing is huge in this picture, but you take another picture, same exact angle, everything like that, but it's reduced by 25% in size. How does that add up?
Exactly. Or even, how does the moon has its own gravity, right?
Exactly.
So, like, how do you not know you're going to go up there and try to land on it and you just bounce the hell off of it?
True.
So
and I can't remember how big the moon or the Earth is compared to the moon per se, but also, like, it's a fairly drastic change in gravity, which, I mean, I guess maybe it's an atmosphere type deal, but you'd think that it would be extremely less than the Earth.
For
if,
sure.
If so, but honestly, it just seems like you can kind of hover a bit, which it's not drastic enough in my opinion.
Yeah.
But to get back to the landing itself, right? So this is the question we both ask each other. You want to ask it?
No, go ahead.
Okay. How the hell, are we live streaming that to every TV on Earth? Or at least the United States, right?
Yeah.
When we have Zoom meetings that are they're
to
and
this day.
And they could be within the same state. And that's,
live streaming
60 years difference, 80 years difference now?
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
And we're able to put that on there. And then what? Nixon? Is it Nixon that was the president?
No, Kennedy and then
No, Kennedy died before we got to the moon.
He did.
So it became, I believe it was Nixon.
But we had Kennedy when we started the space race.
Yeah, he said in 10 years or whatnot. So that was probably like 4 years after it. And he was dead before then.
Yeah.
So I think it was Nixon, and he called Armstrong on the moon.
Yeah.
From a landline. He picked that hoe up and called.
That is so false.
You're telling me you can do that, but like, I mean, I guess I don't know what the communication is for the ISS per se. That's the atmosphere. But like, you're on the moon. And you're telling me a landline could call that. But we have so many other issues with just here on Earth.
Yeah.
How are you pulling that off back then? Like, there's no, unless you literally found like an alien crash, right? And you picked up some technology and it's like, oh, we can live stream this stuff from the Earth. Oh, wait, we dropped it in the pond. Yeah. You can't find it.
And then also those same camera angles of like them coming into land or them leaving, right?
Yeah.
Like, who the hell is recording them leaving?
Well, because you get the angle, like, there is, so, for example, right here would be, like, the lunar lander. Yeah. The camera angle is coming from, like, right here. Yeah. The steps down.
Yeah.
So, did they just throw a little tripod out? Or did they just, like, I don't know, put a piece of cardboard so he's not technically walking on the moon? He just walks on one step, hops over, moves it. Like, you know what I mean? Is there a way around that they made that happen?
Bro,
no.
No.
Hell no.
Not at all.
Makes no sense.
So, do we just throw away the technology to do that? Just say, you know what? We don't need it anymore here.
Why would you, right?
Yeah.
And also, it's very coincidental that we won the space race.
See,
as far as I know, we weren't looking like we were ahead. But yet, we somehow won and got up there.
See, I've heard a story that the Soviet Union actually beat us there.
100% don't doubt it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, did they? Did anybody get up on that thing?
Yeah.
Can you get on that thing?
See, me, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I do not think it's
my mom's a really big believer of the moon landing, stuff like that. And she loves, like, looking at the moon, telescope of the galaxies, all that stuff. She loves it.
I love doing that.
I love it too. Like being in the VR and walking the moon, or being the ISS. That's super cool.
Yeah.
But that's why, to me, it's even more like unreachable.
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
But again, I take us back to that. Why? I mean, to me, this was like one of the first times on a mass scale, everyone could turn on the TV and see something
together.
Lost. You know what I'm saying? Like here we are. Let's allow our government to make us believe that they're not in a freaking shack somewhere shooting us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you can find a lot of different evidence of like.
Was this the 40s or was it the 60s? I thought it was the 60s.
60s.
Okay. So the 60s, they do it, right? Where no one, like, we don't have the technology to be like, oh, that doesn't make sense, or let me check into this and, you know, alter that, whatever. And now we do. That's why we have those videos. Like, well, that's weird and this is weird and you can see lines, whatever. Yeah. But why haven't we done anything like that since? The only thing we have is, oh, yeah, a satellite went by Pluto or Neptune or Jupiter, and they show us some pictures that they take from there.
And then, still to this day,
the ISS?
The ISS, they're lying to us, bro. They're sitting here floating around Earth or whatnot, right?
Yeah, they're in the pool.
And and they're sitting there trying to show you, hey, it's no gravity out here. My hair's floating. Look what the water does. Let me do this backflip, and somebody grabs, hopefully Race can edit in this.
That clip.
This dude grabs the wire and pulls him close.
It almost looks like a belt loop. It almost looks like a belt loop.
It's an invisible wire.
But he's not touching him specifically. Exactly.
Exactly, bro. And then some of them, just out of nowhere, the gravity just turns on and they drop.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, the ball right here, supposed to float if you let your hands go, and it just drops.
Yeah, and there's some glitchy video stuff on there, a whole bunch of weird things.
So we're being lied to. And a lot of people are just, hey, let me cut this on, look at this.
Well, the question is, how big is the lie, right? Like, I'm willing to say, okay, well, maybe like space itself is real, which I know it's crazy to say it isn't, but again, I love that theory, and there's stuff that we're going to delve into at one point that's like,
Yeah,
do we, is it?
for sure.
But I mean, I can take one piece here, one piece there, and say maybe just part of it's a lie, but it's like, what part is the lie?
See, I believe a bigger part of it is a lie, but the best question is why? And I love to say that, and you guys are going to definitely hear me say it more, is why lie to us? Why are they not giving us the truth?
Well, yeah, what are you getting out of it?
Why are they not saying, hey, we're doing the space race to freaking get a whole bunch of money from you taxpayers and use this for it, or do this, or just to, we're going to shoot this false video to make the Soviet Union believe that we made it there.
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
I don't get it, man.
What's the motive? It's got to be either control, profit, or what else? I mean, that's usually like a three-type scenario. But I mean, control or profit usually is much of the part because it's
Sure.
power. Control is power. So in some way that benefits them.
Yeah.
And that's the question: is like, why? What benefits you to tell me that there's we can go to the moon, or
Yeah.
we have an ISS space station? If it's not there, then what's the point? Who
Yeah.
are you fooling us, and for what reason? So
Now, to me,
what do you think? Yeah.
see, it gets more of on a base of like they're lying to us so they can just be ahead of deceiving. Because again, religiously, the devil is the number one deceiver. And so when you take that and you add that evil power in the head of a country and government and leadership, then their job is just to deceive and lie. But I just don't understand humans. How can we just allow this to just, whatever. It is what it is. Humanity
It's far
is
more
annoying to me.
concerning the lack of questions there are.
Yeah.
And as time has gone, more people have questioned it, and you see videos all the time about conspiracy type stuff because more people are like, no, that's right, like that's not adding up at all.
Yeah.
We're getting more and more people like that, but there's still at least half the population, if not more, that's they don't even think that anything's happening. You think conspiracies are real? Any of them? You're crazy.
Exactly.
But
And
it's like, why?
That takes us back to
not have an open mind, it really just shows, why do you think that anyone that's looking at this stuff is crazy? Because they've told you that they're crazy.
exact
Because
bro.
it benefits them.
Take us back to episode 1 when I said, so did you believe there was aliens before the government came out and said there were aliens?
True.
It was for the longest time a conspiracy theory, but what they couldn't negate is the evidence. So you got to lean back on the evidence. We're going to dive deep on the evidence of things.
Yeah.
Showing you in your face, like, look at this. How is that not what it's supposed to be? And you telling us it's something else. I had my brother today. He texted me and he was like, I definitely think, because he watched episode 1, he was like, I definitely think that the aliens they showed in Mexico or whatnot are fake and it's a bigger agenda here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hell yeah, it is. I'm like, without a doubt.
Why now? Why would the government do absolutely anything, lift any finger, unless it benefits them?
I think it's steps.
They
it's,
don't
it's
care
the
to tell us
steps.
anything.
It's steps to a master plan.
Yeah.
Like,
And we'll get to
for sure.
what we think that is.
For sure. And like we said before, Bob Lazar tried to let people know. Try to be that whistleblower for the
Edit on Bob Lazar. I didn't input his picture on the last video because we already found his name after we said that in the podcast. So I said, everyone knows Bob Lazar. If you don't, then look him up, obviously. But,
or just go on Netflix.
Knows.
It's still on Netflix, do you know?
I believe so. If not, you can probably rent it at $3.99, something like that.
For sure.
But
people, even back then, before the government is now releasing these little things about aliens, right?
He's the only case that I can possibly believe, though.
Yeah.
Because of what he's gone through.
And so
that's a lot to orchestrate if it's fake.
But a lot of people told him, stop telling us BS. You're lying. That's
Oh yeah,
BS.
100%.
You're doing this for freaking clout or whatnot.
Well, yeah, but you know what he's gained from that?
Nothing.
100%.
Nothing.
In fact, any money that he's gotten, I believe he said he gives that to charity, like specifically goes to charity.
So that make you
He
more.
might keep enough to survive like an old person, but we saw him that it's going to charity because he just wants the real truth out,
and
that's admirable.
And that's kind of what we want as well.
Yeah, 100%.
And so, taking us a little bit deeper into this rabbit hole, me and Race got two things pretty prepared right now for you listeners. We want to start with mine?
So, I wanted to go over a couple of things here. So, we covered the moon landing because that's the one we essentially had in common.
For sure.
The next one we did have in common was like celebrities, the elite, hand signals, ritual type stuff.
Let me say this before you continue. Y'all just look up a video of Paul McCartney. If not, Race could pop up a screenshot of him
Put a lot on me.
coming in. I'm making him work on these edits.
Yeah, I need to get better.
He comes in on a talk show, and he's coming to sit down, and he does the Illuminati symbol.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly freaking as day. Clear as hell. Like, obvious. It was no reason, his jacket, no other explanation to why the hell he would do that. I don't, like...
It's not an accidental movement of your hands.
It cannot be accidental.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
I mean, it literally could, but like the lowest probability.
It was on purpose. And why? Why are these people, like, is it something that they're a part of that they like, hey, I represent this, I want it to be known? Does Paul McCartney send that clip and say, hey, look what the hell I showed the world right here when I went on this famous show or whatnot?
I think it's like not even a quota per se, but it's like it's an agreement that what they do, they have to show an inclination of it, like just a little hint here and there. And it may be kind of like a, laugh in your face type deal, like I'm showing you right in front of your face and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
And then also I think it's somehow binding to whatever they do. Like it's part of the rules that they have to kind of hint at it in order to do so. Like put it in a movie before it actually happens, stuff like that. You could even argue the
1,000
Simpsons
alien
stuff.
movies.
Yeah, 1,000 alien movies,
Bro.
Whole sorts
so
of stuff.
like in that in itself, like it shows me, to me, how I take that away is that there is either an elite group of people who is like, hey, we got this written in blood, you got to do this, sell your soul type thing. Or it's like, they're like, hey, we're making you rich and famous, and you can have all of this, but you just got to do these certain type of things.
100%.
And that bully thing that you always talk about, that blackmail.
Yeah. They will. What I figure is they get you locked in there. We'll make you, famous. We'll give you all the money, whatever you need. You'll have more opportunities, but this is what you got to do for us.
Yeah.
Come over here and, in the old days they used to say like dress up.
Yourself,
yeah, get
bro.
humiliated, dress up, or do a silly thing, and then on other levels,
And publicly,
do
bro.
a heinous act.
Think about how many, well, for me, when I look it up, I see a lot of black men that need to, like, dress up as a woman,
100%.
And they have to, and then after them dressing up as a woman and doing all this humiliating stuff in the public eye, their career take the hell off. Like, it's a video of Kevin Hart, like, I'll never do that, I'll never dress up like a woman, whatever, whatnot, never. Next thing you know, SNL, he on there like, freaking woman.
Yep.
Here you go. And then he's the #1 freaking comedian in the world.
Exactly.
For a while now.
Yeah, no, Kevin Hart's like super popular.
But that's just one of many.
Dave Chappelle talked about that, right?
Yeah.
He said, I'm not going to do it. And he didn't do it.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not going to run the skit. And they're like, no, you are. And he's like, the hell I am.
See, these are those things where
and he's been screwed.
Exactly, bro.
And he's major talent.
Yeah, hell
He should
yeah.
always
He
be at the
is-
top type of guy.
He's funnier than Kevin Hart to me. Kevin
Oh
Hart,
yeah,
if you watching
Kevin
this,
Hart's super
you
funny,
are
but-
funny.
but Chappelle is just
Dave Chappelle just make me and
God
Sierra
tier.
sit in the room and just,
he's God tier.
bro. But yeah, so those are the things that I'm like, what the hell? It's something's
Yeah.
the evidence. It's something's up. It happens too much, too often, and too much in the public eye for it just to be a coincidence.
And that's one of those things too of, safe. So for the what's real, right?
Yeah.
What's real about space? There's got to be some level of it that's real, and we're not seeing exactly what the picture of is what actually is fake. So on and so forth. It's the same thing with that, right? Like they are signing their lives away, and you can interpret it as they're literally making a deal with Satan himself. Or you could just see it as, no, they are doing heinous acts in a very, realistic, down-to-earth, not down-to-earth, the best way to say it, but like, it's reality. There's no
Yeah.
spells involved, there's no magic.
How do you know though?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying there's multiple interpretations that you
Yeah.
can take, but it's like, what is real? Because they could be committing like satanic rituals out of getting actual magical whatever benefits, or they could be doing satanic rituals because it's part of the psychology of everything.
How do you think one person sells their soul? Because I seen a video recently of a young lady who is in the entertainment music industry,
Okay.
and she was not famous at all at the time. She started a video and she was like, guys, and crying. Legit tears, legit freaking fear in her eyes. She
Yeah.
was like, I just did something bad. I sold my soul. I'm gonna be famous. This, and that. And she was nobody. She looked busted. It was beat down. And then next thing you know, she's popping, famous, money, whatever the hell she wants.
Who is
She's
she?
talking about, I don't want to say her name.
Okay, that's fair.
But you guys could look it up. But actually, I don't know how to say her name. It's one of them ghetto names. She's a black.
Okay.
She's a black rapper, entertainer, whatever.
Okay.
Sukina. I don't know how to say her name, so I don't want to botch
I thought it was
it.
gonna be like Ice Spice or something, so that's why I asked.
Nah, it ain't. Well, I mean, but you don't know. Like these days, if you just think of the power, if somebody like, I got the power to make anybody famous, right here. It ain't, let me send this agent out. He'll find the talent. Oh, you're talented. Here you go.
Yeah, it's rarely like, oh, you have the talent. Let's see what we can do and take you far. It's what are you willing to do to go far?
Exactly.
We'll give you the talent.
Exactly.
We'll give that to you.
Yeah.
That's why you have people out there like Dave Chappelle, where he has the talent
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't have to rely on what they can do for him.
Yeah.
It's cutthroat. But I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of artists out there that are just they're not doing a whole lot, especially pop music.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, you're singing the words somebody else wrote.
Yeah.
Your voice doesn't have to be that great. They can take care of all that, but you're not writing it.
Yeah, these days,
You're not worried
bro.
about anything. You just have to. Maybe you just have to do the live performance.
Yeah.
Maybe you just have to lip sync for all I know.
And
But
they
there's
do it
not a
all.
whole lot of talent on that stuff now.
No.
It's
I
incredible.
mean, it's the least talented music industry ever right now, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you take us back in the day, it was, you literally had to be able to, you couldn't throw on auto-tune
Yeah, exactly.
and sing. You had to be good. Whitney Houston was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The only other person I know that could actually sing like that in person is Ariana Grande. And I'm like, whoa, her voice is great. She actually talented. But no telling what you had to do back then
Yeah.
to be famous. What sacrifices you got to make, and sacrifices physically is something else that people, run into, and that is a deep rabbit hole of itself.
True. And I would say, because just for you guys, we are keeping this stuff a little bit lower on these topics just because we're, again, first conspiracies and stuff like that before we move on to the in-depth big topics.
Yeah.
So, you're speaking about selling your soul.
Yeah.
The way I see that is not really an actual, transaction. Not necessarily, spiritual or whatever it may seem to me.
That's
How
'cause
I
you
see it-
logical as hell.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't believe in that.
But how I see it is selling your soul is just getting rid of your dignity. Like, that part of yourself that you can claim, I did this, you're giving that up. The part of yourself saying, I have freedom, you're giving that up. The part of yourself that's saying, like, I have the right to choose what to do or, like, how to do it. You've given up all of that, and that, for me, is what is selling your soul.
Okay, but
you're putting it into someone's hands that probably shouldn't be having that choice for anybody.
So what if somebody, like, I don't care, you can expose me.
What do you mean?
Expose me. Instead of keeping that dignity attached.
Uh-huh.
I sold my soul, so now they got this video of me doing something that don't look good for me, right?
True.
So what if somebody like, F all that, expose me, do this, do that, Illuminati, whatever, fuck y'all. I did sign up, now I want to run away from it, right?
Let me ask you something, like, from like a psychological standpoint.
Yeah.
You, let's just say you did rap. You do rap. You do music. You went to LA for rap and said, you know what, I've got a gift here. I've got a lot to give, and I want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You go down the ways. Life is a little different than what it treats you now, because you're a great person. But let's say some stuff happened that maybe altered you just a little bit. Maybe just went a little too far. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you're just too naive, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody approached you out there. Oh, I can help you out. I can make you famous, blah, blah. They start giving you some deals here and there. Hey, go do this for me. Go do that for me. Nothing crazy, just, normal stuff, but they're using you a little bit. That goes and increases until they've got you doing a heinous act, whether, let's say you were drugged. Like, you were totally unaware, but enough to be, like, molded to do whatever they wanted you to do. They got that on a record now. They got recorded.
Yeah.
And God forbid it's the worst thing we can talk about, which we're not going to say because monetization, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in that situation, if it was keep doing bad stuff and still stay famous and get money, or like show what people are doing to these people to be famous, what would you choose? Like, are you going to out yourself?
Do I want to get away from doing that bad stuff, right? Is that what you said?
Well, yeah.
So obviously I would want to.
But also think about it. You've also done this for a couple of years. It ramped up. You didn't.
I would never really legit be in that situation, but if I was,
yeah, this is a whole different timeline we're talking.
Hypothetically, I'm in that situation, but I am who I am, person-wise, to this day. They gonna have to. I'm gonna expose them. They can expose me. I wouldn't care. I want people to see who they are for who they really are, and I'll probably end up dead.
Yeah,
that's what it would be. Oh, my freaking brakes cut off in my damn car. Somehow.
Well, they'd be watching you too, so
yeah.
I wonder if you could even expose.
Yeah.
Like, the moment you thought about it, you'd have to utter it.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm gonna utter it, it's gonna be to the public.
And also, all of your supports in your life are plants. In that scenario.
See, I
your
keep
best
a circle,
friend.
I keep a circle small.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
You ain't no plant.
Oh, I'm not a plant, but that's different. We're not world famous right now per se. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying if you were, let's say like Taylor Swift or something. You ask anybody, you throw a rock in a crowd, they're gonna know who Taylor Swift is. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
That scenario, Taylor Swift's best friend, she cannot trust whoever her best friend is. 100% not. Honestly, most best friends are probably handlers. Otherwise, they're parents. Or even children.
I wouldn't go that far. It's possible.
I'm saying it's possible.
Hell yeah, it's possible.
But I'm saying, like, think about it. Like, you were in the situation where, like, I'm done, I'm tired of it. And let's say you're telling me, not literally me, but, like, the role that I am in your life. You tell that person when you're living that life we're talking about. I would say a 90% chance that person's going to be like, hey, they're talking stuff. Put the red alert on you. They're gonna put the red alert on you, man. They're gonna be like, he's getting ballsy and he's about to like out that stuff. We gotta do something about it.
Yeah.
And they act quick. They act way quicker than you can.
Yeah.
It's harder now when you got Instagram, Facebook live streams, whatever, and you can just okay, I'm gonna do it. Boom, do it.
Yeah.
But also, if they knew that you're gonna do that, they could cut that stuff off.
Damn.
EMP it, whatever. They could literally do whatever they need to do.
EMP the situation right now.
I don't know if EMP is very fitting. That's, maybe super tiny. But, cut off your communications. It's super simple. If our mics can pick up a AM radio signal, I'm sure they can do a whole lot more on purpose,
Yeah.
So.
I'm still convinced that was the CIA trying to listen.
Well, who knows, dude?
They put a chip in here. They
Yeah.
don't want us to talk about what we're gonna talk about next.
Oh yeah, 100%. So okay, on the next one here, the other one was like celebrity elite parties. Do you know who? I believe it's Marina Abramovich. Do you know who she is?
Sounds familiar.
She hosts these big celebrity parties, especially like Rockefeller types.
So does P Diddy. I heard about this. I just listened to some of this the other day. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So her party specifically, I think, if I'm wrong, I'll have to look it up and I'll put the person who actually was. I believe she did a display of where she sat still and gave a bunch of tools and sat like this art thing and said, like a little note said, do whatever you want to me. I can't do anything. And so people could like slap her and spit on her and, you know, hug her, whatever. Like it could be a kind act, a mean act, whatever. And then at one point, I believe they put like a gun to her head or something. And it was bad. Like she had lashes and cuts and bruises all over her body, and she nearly lost her life just because people give an open ticket. Like that's a whole other story, like a psychological type thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like the that prison experiment, the Stanford prisoner experiment. Yeah, kind of like that.
That abuse of power.
And I
type.
think that might be her. If I'm wrong, again, we popped it up already. But so this woman essentially holds out these cannibal parties.
Damn.
Now, what I mean by that is not literally they're eating human beings,
Hmm.
but they get these essentially effigy human cakes, and it's all inside is like red, you know, caking. The outside is skin like frosting. They make these very realistic bodies, and they cut out these little slices.
So do you believe that's partly evil?
I mean, it's like it's like a laugh in your face, like a middle finger, you know, to people that aren't in that category. Like, this is what we're doing this is what we're showing you we're doing. Imagine what we're not showing you.
Yeah.
Like, they have pictures that they've posted of this party. Like, this is just a big party. Guess somebody that might be there. Well-known comedian. He's fairly older now.
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. How did you guess that?
I'm just good at that.
You heard it in my head, bro.
Yeah, we on the
That's
same
crazy.
wavelength.
Yeah, Will Ferrell is one of those guys there, and I was like, man, I love Will Ferrell. What's he doing, bro?
He eating ass cake, boy.
Eating ass cake, for real. So they cut up those pieces of cake, and, you know, they serve them all around, and I think I don't know how bloody it's supposed to look and whatnot, but those are one of the weird ones. Now, the Rockefeller parties, I believe these were more of like the 1940s, 1980s kind of zone, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And they would do weird head costumes, like dress up somebody like a woman with a deer head, and a bunch of them with bird cages.
That's the Illuminati.
That's where we're getting
types.
the Illuminati type stuff, and we're getting the
And again, it's in your freaking face. It's a movie about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to look it up, but Ray's gonna pop it up right here.
Yeah, and I'll pop up also
Watch
Jay
that.
Myers documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that did a lot on the Marina Abramovich party, as well as the Rockefeller parties.
Yeah.
And again, it's in this giant castle, and they have a display of essentially makes it look like it's projecting flames, like it's burning down.
Damn.
But it's not. It's just, you know, just like what a cool thing to do. Also, this is like 40 plus years ago they're doing that.
Yeah.
So we'll get back to projectors and holograms later on, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So, but they do also do bird cages and stuff like that, butterflies, all this weird stuff. And they had like broken doll figures all around, just a bunch of really weird things. And I believe
they try to label as art or whatnot. Or?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, if they're rich, they're going to make fucked up stuff into art. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as they're concerned, they're going to say it's art. But I will say the bird cage is supposed to symbolize MK Ultra, I believe. So like the mind control stuff, you know? And then I can't remember what the deer heads and other stuff are, but I will try to pop up some pictures here for
You
the
said
video.
butterfly cage, like a
No, a bird cage.
yeah.
But there
you
were
said
butterflies
also a
as
butterfly,
well.
right?
Yeah.
Like a containment of beauty or something.
And they'd
like
wear them
that.
around their heads and like paint out
What?
like a bird on their face type deal.
Oh,
It's some wild stuff. So again, I'll have to pull in the video so you'll be able to check it out later. You know, we always got to rewatch ourselves anyway.
yeah, but like P Diddy, bro, he would have these freaking parties as well. So
Yeah, I've heard some P Diddy stuff.
I mean, you got other rappers in the industry that openly kind of talk about it, and they talk about, you know, how kind of suspect he is or whatnot.
P Diddy's suspect, yeah.
Yeah, and he supposedly it was this one kid coming up on, like, I guess started on Vine or whatnot and kind of got big, famous, whatnot. He ended up going to a P. Diddy party. And they say this happens pretty often, but turns out P. Diddy had him like bent over in his bedroom, and dude didn't want to proceed with it, and so now his career is like,
Bro.
yeah.
That's really similar to that one, like, music producer. I can't remember. It's just this African American music producer. Huh?
Timberland?
No.
I'm trying to think of some
I'll
more.
actually try to look that up too, but it's because this was the Fox, not Michael J. Fox.
Jamie Foxx?
Jamie Foxx, yeah. Jamie Foxx.
Hmm.
I think it was Oprah that set him up to do it.
Whoa.
Oprah was like, "Hey, do you want some help with this?" Blah blah. And he's like, "Yeah," because he was doing his music stuff back then.
Yeah.
And essentially, what he says is they invited Oprah set everything up to have him go over to that producer's house, and was basically like, "All right, let him go in the back on Jamie Foxx." He's like, "Nah, like I'm good." It was that, or he was offering the other way around, where Jamie needed to go in the back. And I was like, either way, it's like, no, what did it?
What the hell?
Yeah, because especially they can videotape or whatever, but nowadays it's not even like it's an issue if you're homosexual or not. But it's like if it's different if you aren't, and somebody's trying to put you into that situation.
But imagine the richest of the rich and the people
But
who
also,
control.
Jamie Foxx is doing fine. He didn't have to do that, and I'm glad he didn't.
And he
as far as
hasn't
says.
been doing fine until recently.
True, and at least music-wise, he wasn't.
He's one of the most talented guys where he could
He can
sing,
do music,
play
impressions, piano, act.
I'm talking about, like,
I think he can direct too.
have you seen him play Ray in the movie for Ray Charles? I think he won an Oscar for that.
I don't think so.
Dude,
Is it sports centered?
Crazy. No, bro.
Oh,
Musician.
Oh, okay.
You don't know who Ray Charles is?
I know the name. That's it.
All right, there's only two real famous blind singers that are African American.
Yeah.
Ray
Stevie
Charles
Wonder.
and Stevie. Yeah,
I only know
there
Stevie
you go.
Wonder.
Yeah,
That's
Ray
crazy.
Charles is a little older than Stevie,
That's probably why.
but yeah.
So yeah. Well,
Righty.
yeah, that's crazy stuff. All right, I think we have one or two more here.
Those are things y'all just need to think about.
Yeah,
Look up
look
for
into a little
yourself.
more. If you again, the big thing here, if you guys are interested in any more of the stuff being like looked into a little more by us specifically, drop in the comments. And again, we have a couple more to go through, but pop in the comments anything that you want to see us talk about in the future. And what was your first conspiracy? What was the first thing that got your mind going? You can call it a conspiracy. You can call it something that didn't add up, whatever it may be. If it's a theory itself and it was one of your first, let us know in the comments, and then we can also go down on that. Yeah.
But now, I think it's definitely time to take you guys back, okay? So follow us along. This will be kind of extensive, but I want to go back to before they lied about going to the moon. On something that will raise your eyebrows, okay? And for me, that number one thing is Antarctica. All right? Today, still to this day, is the only thing that Russia, how many countries?
Every country.
Every single country has a treaty to not colonize, or
The only agreement that's ever been
the
made.
only single
worldwide.
agreement. And that's something that people have to open their eyes up about.
Yeah, understand the weight of that.
Yes,
It's never ever been done prior or after.
for real. And that treaty happened in the 50s, late 50s, early 60s probably. But before that treaty happened, the only thing Russia and America agree on is freaking Antarctica till this day.
Yeah.
Don't go there. We can't go there. We actually know somebody who had a job application to go there and could have worked in Antarctica, but he had to sign an NDA if he wanted to do so.
Speaking of that, That's also
Go
our
ahead.
same friend
Yeah.
about it's called the Satanic Temple. I believe last video I said Church of Satan.
Uh,
Different, yeah. Maybe I'll even pop up the clip or something.
Cut it in
Two
there.
different institutions, two different mindsets, two different points. So I just want to make it very clear. It is the Satanic Temple
Yeah.
that he was a part of, our friend before. It's not the Church of Satan. That's a whole other story that I have to unpack with,
Yeah.
whoever runs that. But the Satanic Temple is specifically nothing to do realistically with Satan, but it's upholding really positive values. It's
For
just
sure.
in accordance to Christianity.
So, what I want to take you guys down is not necessarily a famous. You probably never heard of this before. A lot of people that I talk to never have.
Took
And,
until I met you
Yeah, you
And,
didn't know nothing about it.
at our job.
Yeah. At our
So-
job, I asked you, hey, you know anything about this? And you're like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
What the hell? What, why? And again, we've done a lot of research, okay? So lean on us to be your source for this. Some of this stuff you can look up.
But always do your own research.
Yeah, for
100%.
sure. And some of this stuff is very hard to find. But it's out there for your knowledge. But I'm going to make it easy for you. And what we're talking about right now in my segment, I'm going to kind of lead on, is Operation High Jump. I call it Project High Jump, but it's Operation High Jump. Let me take you back just after World War II. This is before that treaty on Antarctica, okay? So forget everything you know and open your mind, okay? So 1946, it was August 1946 to April 1947. Admiral Richard E. Byrd, he was in charge of the Operation High Jump, also known as Task Force 68. Okay.
Okay.
He was supposed to take this team down to Antarctica, and the goal for this operation was the United States Navy Antarctic Development Program, and they were trying to establish a research base called the Little America 4. You can look up right now, go to your Google Maps or whatnot, go down there, hover over it, and you can see a few places called Little America. And it's freaking crazy because this operation that they didn't fully disclose to everybody, it was some public knowledge. Thanks to the Freedom Information Act, we got a little more knowledge today, but a lot of stuff that they still aren't disclosing to the public.
All the important stuff.
Super important. Things that make you question. So the operation called for 4,700 men, 13 ships, and I'm talking about icebreakers, warships, submarines, of course your supply carriers and whatnot, and also aircraft carriers. All of this just to go to Antarctica to set up a base. Makes you want to question things. But I'm just trying to. Why would you think they need a destroyer on that operation, bro?
I mean, you could argue that, who knows we're going to run into uncharted land type of deal, but
A destroyer?
exactly.
A destroyer. And this is off subject, but recently they just found pyramids in Antarctica.
Is that recent?
This is very recently, within the last few years.
Well, yeah, within the last 5 years at least.
I think since 2020.
Okay.
Yeah. And they, who's the guy that also went to space? Aldrin?
Yeah,
No.
Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin supposedly tweeted and deleted. I'm sure you can find this and throw it up there.
This is very supposed, but that's what we've seen.
But I've seen some people that seen the tweet and talked to him. And he says something about like, we're all in danger or something like that. Whatnot.
It's evil itself.
It's
or
evil
something like that.
itself. And I'm like,
We can probably pull the quote tweet up.
yeah.
So
Don't quote me on that. Quote this.
Yeah, there you go.
And so after he said that, and then somehow took it off, and then he was having health issues, and this was all after freaking going to Antarctica. But let's go back. Okay, so
And also, why go? How old is Buzz Aldrin?
yeah.
Like, he's super old. Why
See-
are you going to the coldest place ever?
See, but think about this. So with Richard E. Byrd, he was a guy who was retired in like his early, I think like 28 or 29. He was retired from the force. In 1908, he got into it, and then in the 20s, I think 27, 1927, he was retired, medical leave or whatnot, and then they kept calling him back to do these certain type of things. It really felt like a movie-based story. It feels like when you got this super guy who knows only how to handle things and do stuff, and you keep calling him back. You got any movies like
We need you for one last mission.
exactly.
It's like the Key and Peele skit. You see that? Where he's
Yeah.
like, we actually need you, blah, blah. Like, well, I don't know if I can. You know, goes on forever.
So yeah, they kept calling this dude back and back and back, right? And this was the last thing they called him back for. And
We
Richard,
need you on this, Mr. Bird.
but one of the expertise that he did have, he was the first person to fly over the South Pole, supposedly, to see if it was possible to go from North Pole to South Pole and return home. But
Okay.
he just flew. He was the first person not to go over the North Pole and South Pole and then return home. But he flew over Antarctica and could return home. And that was in 1929, November. But how many people have we heard of even doing something like that to this day?
Yeah.
Zero.
Zero. I mean, you're not allowed.
You're not allowed.
So-
You get shoot down.
Yeah, you get shot down. If you try to take a boat out there, they're going to start calling you up. And, yeah,
You get killed.
it's like
Just
your
for
rights are
trying-
removed by
A
going around
treaty
there.
that would kill you if you tried to go there. Are you
Trespassing to the highest
questioning
degree.
things yet?
Yeah.
No? Okay. All right,
Just
so what?
like, give me one good reason why you're stopping me from going to Antarctica. There's no liability. No one's suing
hey,
you if
I
I
want
go
to
out
go
there
see
and freeze
the
to death.
freaking penguins.
Yeah.
Penguins. And
I want to go ride down a mountain on my belly like a penguin with them.
nope. You
Can't stop me
buddy.
from doing that. Why?
Every
you know?
country on the earth is stopping you from doing
Exactly. It makes no sense.
that. Why do
It doesn't help
someone
anybody.
who wants to go work there have to sign the NDA?
Yeah.
Think
you guys
about
doing?
that, bro.
I mean, even if it comes down to like, oh, they're running some experiments. You know?
I mean, let me tell you this. So, the number one objective, right? Okay, let me let you read this first. I got 5 things. I'm gonna pass this to Race, these notes to Race. I'm gonna let you read what the public objectives were.
Okay.
Got that? Don't delete anything.
So you mean me to read the main objective?
Yeah. So,
Okay. Main objective: training personnel and testing equipment in frigid conditions. USS Senate, a Balao submarine participating in Operation High Jump. Okay. So number 1, consolidating and extending the United States sovereignty over the largest practicable area of the Antarctic continent. And then in parentheses, publicly denied as a goal before the expedition ended, looking for a land grab.
So publicly they denied that wasn't true.
That's weird.
What the hell?
What the hell?
2.
Determining the feasibility of establishing, maintaining, and utilizing bases in the Antarctic and investigating possible base sites.
Yeah, so what kind of bases were they trying to investigate?
Yeah, I mean, you can put a base anywhere. What's
Yeah.
so special about putting it in some ice?
No, but they're trying to go there to investigate bases.
Oh, I
What
see.
the
Okay.
hell? What kind
Well,
of
investigating
bases?
possible base sites. So it
Okay.
sounds like they're going to put bases,
Okay.
areas that they could. Number 3, developing techniques for establishing, maintaining, and utilizing air bases on ice,
Mm-hmm.
with particular attention to later applicability of such techniques to operations in interior Greenland, where conditions are comparable to those in the Antarctic.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, it kind of makes sense.
That one's
okay?
fair, yeah. 4, amplifying existing stores of knowledge of electromagnetic, geological, geographic, hydrographic, and meteorological propagation conditions in the area. So, like, yeah, sure, I guess, but also, like, electromagnetic's the one that makes the most sense because you're at a pole, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know about hydro because it's all, I guess it's some of it's water. Number 5, supplementary objectives of the Nanook expedition, a smaller equivalent conducted off eastern Greenland.
Yeah. So this was all to the public knowledge of what they were doing and why. So that was all of the public knowledge, what they were doing and why. But what they didn't disclose was that obviously the U.S. at that time was the only country in 1946 that had possession of nuclear weapons.
Okay.
The Northern Winter was coming. Have you ever heard of the Northern Winter?
No, please elaborate.
So this is all of it at a time where Cold War, all that was going on too after World War II, right? Because we're at the end of World War II. But they were planning to move nuclear weapons there and start testing and set up base to become like the dominant freaking country.
Okay.
So that was undisclosed, but that's a fact. They were setting up a nuclear base there because obviously the government believed, President Roosevelt at the time, he was the president during this operation, that they could send freaking nuclear weapons from Antarctica to anywhere in the world because it's at the bottom of the planet and make it easier to reach such places. And
Same
so,
reason we had, or like enemies had, what's it called? It was the Cold War when the Russians had like Cuba. They were trying to get because it's the closest to the United States without being there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Freaking crazy, bro.
It is crazy.
And so, so basically, America wanted to claim Antarctica for its own.
Okay.
But it's freaking Richard E. Byrd. He's down there, and he's like, hey, you know what? Let's also do some mapping. Since we want to claim Antarctica as our own, we got 4,700 men, 13 ships,
Gotta map
33
it out.
aircrafts. Let's go ahead and map everything. And while they were mapping, one of their plane crashed or whatever in a place that they call the freaking the Phantom Coast.
Ooh.
It's tough because you can't just go fly there and pick them up on the helicopters and stuff that they had, because it was damn near impossible to see below you and what was there. And so you would have, just to save them, they would have to land 10 miles out and walk 10 miles to go save them and bring them 10 miles back.
Good Lord.
So they never did. They just left their freaking bodies there, whatnot. Yeah, it's freaking sick, bro.
That's tragic.
So that's a minus from some of them 4,700 men.
Yeah, yeah. Quite a few.
But President Roosevelt at the time, before he already had all those 47 men. I mean, he had journalists, writers, everything, cameramen, all the people
All the
that you
expertise
get. Yeah.
and stuff.
And before they got there, he had Admiral Byrd put them and tell them that they were under an executive order to not speak or say anything about what they were about to do.
Okay.
So they get there, you get the public eye. what the public think that they were there to do. You get how many people's going and what their objective is. And then you also got the true objective. So now let me dive in on the true objective. So Adam Richard E. Byrd, he has a lost journal. This is some of the stuff that's hard for you to find that I did some research on. In this journal, he hops on an aircraft, one of his 33 aircrafts, with 2 pilots or whatnot. And they continue to try to fly over the Antarctic. For real this time, I guess. Excuse me. So during this trip, he's recording this as well as journaling it down. So writing and as well speaking into like a voice recorder of some sort. And he's telling people what he sees. And it's time markered. It's a pretty long video, but I'm going to just try to give you guys this from the jump. So it's time markered. They're flying southeast from where they were. And he's like telling people on this voice recorder, he's like, hey, we just passed over what appears to be like an iced lake or whatnot next to some rocks. Simple stuff.
Yeah.
Then later on, he started to say communication with base is getting tougher. It seems that we're about to cut out. 2 minutes later, communication with base not available. A few minutes later, still continuing the trip, even though we have no communication with base. Almost flying blind out here. Continue. He's like, scenery is starting to change. Seeing lots of green trees that look huge. Next, some type of animal that resembles an elephant with huge tusk. Possible mammoth. It's like, what the hell are they seeing, Brace? So I'm like, what the hell is going on at this point? Next, it gets even crazier. Again, this is all a whole bunch of stuff that's hard to find. But
just these
basically,
logs of what they're like.
Yeah, these are logs.
This is raw stuff.
Yeah. So now he goes, just landed, temperature change. It's warming up. See clear lakes without ice. Appears to be life, telling which sorts of life, birds, animals, blah, blah, blah. And then his plane start to have like these issues with it. So when his plane started having these issues, they had to emergency land. So they emergency freaking land on the longest whatever runway they could find. And when they land, he also got it journaled that they were approached by beings. Yeah. Freaking crazy. What beings could they be, Race?
Yeah, exactly.
Why is there a treaty that nobody can go there?
Well, why is somebody writing this down and it's not being investigated? At least publicly.
You kind of jumping the ball, but they killed this man in 1957.
How long after was that?
It's 46, 10 years later. When he started speaking out.
Yeah.
Publicly about it. Again, President Roosevelt said, shut the hell up. But he's like, hey, we could go there. We could do this. Antarctica is this place. It's not what we thought it was. When you continue to fly, you find this. Yeah. So, I mean, and he's in I believe, one of his helicopters at this time. So he's not doing what he did before, flying in a huge plane to see if it's possible. he's not next to the terrain and checking, but now he's in the terrain checking on a helicopter, losing communication. They systems were messing up. Northeast, southwest was spinning, you know. And so supposedly in the rest of this journal, they were approached by some intelligent beings. He said he felt gravity shift as if he went into the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Think of Earth, if this is the bottom of Earth, he went curved into the earth. And he said that even the sun looked different.
Inner
sun, bro. He said, suns look different, this, and that. And then he started talking about some intelligent beings that approached him and his crew. They weren't trying to freaking harm them.
They're hostile.
Yeah, they weren't hostile at all. And he said they were communicating with them telepathically. They weren't even moving their freaking mouths, bro. And they just felt what the hell they were saying or whatnot. And eventually, in the end, I can say a little more, but I want to be a little more accurate on it. With the transcript of what exactly was said, so I don't want to say exactly something I don't have written down in my notes.
Yeah, you're summarizing it.
Yeah, but basically, they communicated with them and told them where they were, and that those people there didn't want to come out here because it was dangerous. Yeah.
Wow.
And so then those beings let them go. It, fixed their plane somehow. It was like, here, there you go. Took down some type of magnetic field and let them go back, and then put the field back up.
Oh, so they protected themselves.
I have no idea. But it stopped messing with their instruments, and they knew where they were going. They went offline, untrackable by their freaking ships and communications that Admiral Richard E. Byrd had.
Yeah, the bases. And
yeah.
such.
And so then this dude, in April of 1947, gave this information to the one and only President Roosevelt. Well, I guess it was more than one President Roosevelt.
Yeah, nice one and only.
But then they shut down the operation, and then Operation Fishbowl was to come after that.
Which we'll have to dive into a different time.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some more. I'm pretty well versed on it, but Fishbowl coming next. If you
Definitely
know,
a Shaq theory.
Why is it called Operation High Jump? I think that was what Richard E. Byrd did was the true objective of the mission.
That raises a lot of questions itself. Is okay, so they're going to Antarctica to check things out.
They got freaking fighter jets.
Jump.
Freaking yeah.
You know,
why high jump?
They always name it for a reason. And what Paperclip was bringing the Nazis over, right?
Not sure.
I think Paperclip was bringing the Nazis over, which is fine because it's you have dossiers of people that you're bringing over. Paperclip. You paperclip these dossiers together, that makes some sense.
Mm.
And then kind of sort of about the one I'm trying to talk about as well.
Yeah,
kind of lines up, but it's this high jump.
Yeah. So what if the
Fishbowl
Earth
is right on point too?
What if the Earth is hollow and we don't even know it?
Yeah, there's an opening somewhere in Antarctica, and who knows, maybe the top side. But if anything, I could envision one singular opening.
No,
see, it being there.
See, you gonna get me on a different subject.
Why?
Because you know what I believe Antarctica to be.
Yeah.
And how it looks. And how we have.
But see, I'm thinking we save that for number 5.
Of course. But I'm saying, so it's hard for me to continue yeah. Because I know a little more than the people know.
I will also say this is pretty much a couple days before Halloween that we're doing this one.
Oh, yeah.
So we didn't really Halloween this one up. I mean, it's episode 2, but basically our first official just pop-in episode of the Morr-isMoore podcast. So I think once Christmas comes around here, we might do a Thanksgiving episode. Maybe talk about what we're grateful for or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah.
But we'll probably skip Halloween this year and make
Yeah.
it for next year's instead.
We could probably give them a scary story or two.
True. Well, we can do some here at the end or whatnot. I wanted to do something with cryptids. Like, talk about them and maybe just say, like, which one's the scariest, which one the most you believe, like, the most plausible, I guess, stuff like that. So
For sure.
that's why we'll probably just save it for next year.
Okay.
We plan to be doing this for a while, so
Good time.
yeah.
And that only happened with y'all help. Share
100%.
this, subscribe, send it to somebody that you like. Hey, have you heard this before?
Yeah.
Listen to
if
this.
somebody you think that might be interested in this stuff, send it along their way.
Even if they not interested, make them watch and listen to the Morr-isMoore podcast.
I don't know about all that, but
Yeah. So Operation High Jump, that's something that I know a lot of people are not well versed on. That if you look at the Treaty of Antarctica, and the only thing that every country in the world agrees on till this day, you have to open your mind. So that takes me before the lies could be put on television and broadcast to the rest of the earth, like the moon landing. So therefore, President Roosevelt knew something. He sent a team to find out about it. Richard E. Byrd did that. Everybody was under executive order not to speak about it. So the secrecy starts there with me. In 1946 in Antarctica. What did they find? What did they see? Why was Admiral Richard E. Byrd's journal the precipice of the lies?
like that. That's nice.
What you got?
But why not? Why can't we go? Let us go, please. All right. So mine's Project Bluebeam. The name's fairly fitting, but also, I mean, you know, you'll see. So it's been kind of popping up a lot more recently with this alien knowledge, you know, government's talking about it. And for like me and Shaq, this is all like preparation for what this is actually going to be here.
Damn.
So for an overview.
Hold on, before you start, is there something you believe in?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Very plausible to me. We'll give it 90%.
Okay.
95.
Okay,
95.
there we go. Something
Okay.
you believe in.
Nice.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Hold on, what's the what percentage would you give God?
Of like believing God?
Yeah.
I guess 1%.
All right, hey, one.
I have
one,
an open mind.
One is good because
I just don't think that
they
it'll
don't
ever
know
make
that I
sense.
just had to pray for everything to work, and it started working when I prayed for it.
But I did things with the technology to make
No,
it
he
work.
didn't. He
There
did
was
those things
reasons.
15 times. The prayer worked. All right, continue.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's all good. We'll let you have
1%
that
to
one.
95%. So he really believed in Project Blue Jean. Let's go.
I sure do.
Let's
Project
go.
Blue Jeans, I sure do.
Blue jeans. I'm let ass.
All right. So the summary for it is Project Bluebeam is a conspiracy theory which claims that NASA is attempting to implement a new age religion with the Antichrist at its head, which we'll break all this down, to start a new world order via technology simulated second coming. The allegations were presented in 1994, and it goes on for about a journalist that kind of talked about it. But realistically, all we need to kind of know is steps 1 through, I believe it's 4, might be 3 here. So step 1 requires the breakdown of all archaeological knowledge. This will apparently be accomplished by taking earthquakes at precise locations around the planet. So faking new discoveries, quote unquote, at these locations, it'll finally explain that to people at the area of all the fundamental religious doctrines. So essentially what they're doing is, you know, we've heard of, is it DARPA?
Yeah.
Is that okay? So stuff like that where they're manipulating, you know, whether it be the weather, earthquakes, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The point is they're going to unearth something that is saying religion's real. Like, here's your proof of Jesus was here, or here's your proof that there is a God. That's essentially what they're going to be doing by uncovering something through earthquakes. Okay. Now, step 2, and we can go back through a couple of these steps. It involves an apparition of a messianic figure, as in like Jesus. In this, it says who calls himself Abel and is actually a human-made deity. So essentially, what they do is a gigantic space show, quote unquote, wherein three-dimensional holographic laser projections will be beamed all over the planet, so everywhere all at the same time. And this is where the Bluebeam really takes off. The projections will take shapes of whatever deity is most predominant and will speak in all languages.
That's not far-fetched, bro.
It is 100% not far-fetched, but also think about it. It doesn't matter if you do Buddha or Jesus or, you know, what are the alien gods for Scientology?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. If they choose Jesus, which makes a lot of sense because, you know, the idea itself, well, they're going to be like, oh, okay, so Hinduism is wrong or Judaism is wrong, whatever. And they're like, this is the God. He's right there. He's speaking to me in Hebrew right now. He's speaking me to English. He's speaking to me in Russian right now and telling me these things. He's literally in the sky. How am I supposed to say he's not? You know? For people like me, that's what you ask for, right? We're asking for proof.
Yeah.
So, if anything...
So then you would allow that proof to be...
I can't just take proof
tainted.
that simple. Right.
See, so then
I'm so against the idea that I have to have more than just, oh, okay. Like if I shook hands with the man that said he was God and he did a little magic trick, I'd still be like, let's think on it. Let's think on it.
So then you gotta look within, bro.
I don't know about that.
That's what it is, Mark.
So again, they're just essentially making a Jesus type figure and saying, look, he's real. It's the second coming. You know, and they're going to speak about, you know, why they're here, what they should do next, so on and so forth. Okay. At the end of the show, the gods will all merge into one god, the Antichrist. So I guess I did kind of mess that part up a little bit, but so it would pop up Buddha and all that stuff, but they would merge into one, being like, "Hey, you guys have been believing the same thing, just different skins or whatnot, different appearances." So let's see. If there's anything else to say on here. Yeah. Nothing else pretty much. So, again, that's the whole point is just, you know, they want you to believe that this God that they're projecting in front of you is real.
Yeah.
Now, step 3 is telepathic electronic two-way communication. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, it involves making people think that their God is speaking to them through telepathy, projected in the head of each person individually using extreme low-frequency radio waves. And then it says, atheists would presumably hear an absence of Richard Dawkins. I'm assuming that's a little joke, atheists. Do you know who Richard Dawkins is?
No.
I don't think I do either. I think I know
Who
the
the
name.
hell is this?
It was Richard Dawkins.
That's who it is.
Well, yeah, we'll look at that. So it describes how it would be feasible, including claim that L-thought projection caused the depressive illness of... Oh, that doesn't matter. Screw all that. Sorry. Step 4 has 3 parts. Okay,
so right, let's rock.
Now we've unearthed some stuff like, oh, that Jesus is real, or you know, whoever's real.
So the Euphrates.
Oh man, that's him in the sky. Oh wait, it's all the same God. It's this one being. Okay, it's real. It's the second coming. Step 4.
How long do you think it would take people to come to that conclusion?
So realistic timeline, I think they would uncover. Let's say they uncovered it tomorrow. There'd be a lot of speculation, stuff like that, for months. I think it would be less than a year, but pretty close to a year, before they actually brought the Messianic figure in. But just because it depends on the timeline of the alien stuff. Like, we just started unveiling that type of deal. So, I'll tell you what it's like here in a minute. I know you know what I've talked about, but at least for viewers. So, Step 4, again, 3 parts. Number 1 is making humanity think an alien invasion is about to occur in every major city. And again, this is all done through projections and holograms. And not just, you know, literally light, but they have different things to facilitate damage, you know, actual world damage. And, you know, they'll show a laser, but realistically there's a bomb planted there. So laser goes boom, bomb goes blow up. You know, It's all fake, but they make it seem real enough. And some of you might say, "Oh, I know what this is going to sound like." Yeah.
I mean, the aliens that just popped up in Mexico, we talk about, they look exactly like E.T.
Yeah, little ETs. I mean, I don't want to say exactly, but like
it looked like it to
close.
me. I looked at the face.
And they're teeny tiny little boys, bro.
Yeah.
Number two, it's making the Christians think that the rapture is about to happen. Now, this is a funny way they do that. So, a mixture of electronic and supernatural forces, allowing the supernatural forces to travel through fiber optics, power, and telephone lines to penetrate all electronic equipment and appliances that will, by then, all have a special microchip installed. Okay, which this could have been started, 2000, for all I know. Then chaos will break out. People will finally be willing, perhaps even desperate, to accept the New World Order. The techniques used in the fourth step exactly the same used in the past, the USSR, to force the people to accept communism. Okay, and then it does go on about how they see the step number 4 and such. So if you hadn't already noticed, if you've seen Spider-Man: Far From Home, Mysterio.
Yeah.
It's essentially Mysterio using
Drones.
Stark drones. Yeah. Because, it's not the perfect example in that movie, but, the idea is the drones create the projections, they cloak themselves so you don't see them, and using, sonic devices, guns, all sorts of stuff to cause physical damage in the way that the projections are asking it to.
Do you think we have that type of technology?
I would not doubt it. We're always so much ahead. And people say, we're always 10 years ahead. We're probably a century ahead in some ways, And if we're doing stuff like this, if that's part of the plan, if Project Bluebeam's a real thing, then they would never, they wouldn't show you they had that stuff 100%, Yeah. They would especially give you certain things to show you oh, yeah, they're a little ahead.
Yeah.
But if we think they're a little ahead, they must be a lot more ahead.
For sure.
Because it's always, they give you that little. They give you that little bit.
It's a little bit.
You have to expect it to be
everywhere.
a lot bigger than what they give you. That's always how it's going to be. That's how you get messed with. That's how you get looked down upon. By not understanding that they're giving you so little, you have to expect more.
See, but, hey, Morr-isMoore. But, see, this just makes me think of, what's the agenda here? What's the ultimate plan?
To control everybody, finally.
And how would that everybody believing in one God control everybody?
Well, you have one true leader as far as anyone's concerned.
And that would be the Antichrist?
It wouldn't be the Antichrist to everyone else. Its existence would be the Antichrist. But as far as anyone sees it, it's the Lord and our Savior. And, okay, so go back to that.
Yeah.
It left out kind of the mixture of all the steps together. So they simulate these alien invasions after they brought this Christ figure. It could happen before or after the alien invasions happen. Once the alien invasion's happening, they're attacking cities, damage, casualties, all this stuff. And who knows? Maybe they do a bunch. Maybe they bring the population down. This is a catastrophe. Now we only have 2 billion people left in the world type of deal.
Damn.
And, but there's Jesus. He goes, boom, 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 shoots off all these alien spaceships, and the projections go boom, 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 blow up. And then who knows, maybe they just show him, leaving, right? Either he kills them all off or they go home and they're, their heels, whatever you call it. What's the phrase? And, Jesus saved you. He's all powerful. He's real. He's right here. You just saw him destroy these aliens.
See, I don't think it...
That's
I definitely think this is something that's real, but I don't think that it would be Jesus. I think it would be the chance for the Antichrist to prove.
Well, I think no matter what, it would be a different form than we believe in, right? You're going to take Jesus, you're going to take Buddha, you're going to take whoever, and you're going to merge them all into one, and it's going to be something different.
Yeah.
It's going to be something that's more similar to a Jesus-type figure, I'd say, in some ways, but, it's going to be a different figure and be everyone had it right to a certain extent, but this is the reality. I am your God. I'm here to save you. I created you, and these are not my creations, and they're coming to hurt you. Or these are my creations, and I did wrong, so I'm going to stop them from hurting you. At that point, you've got them. That being can do whatever they want. They are a God. If they say something, you're going to listen. Why wouldn't you? Why do you follow the Bible? Because a God figure in your mind has set those rules for you. So if you follow that without them actually telling you to, Imagine if they were right there and said, listen, these are my rules. These are my expectations.
See, so in the Bible, everything you just said, and this is why I believe in Project Bluebeam 100% instead of 95,
Okay.
is already in the Bible. Everything you just said.
Okay.
False God, false prophets, false freaking BS. Like, I know people that see this alien stuff and they already match it with the Bible and say those are demons, not aliens. When you say something's going to be unleashed, they say in the Bible when the Lake of Euphrates dries up, which is damn near dried up,
Damn.
it will release,
I do find some of that stuff interesting. Just
right?
to be fair.
And it matches up with what you just said. That's what I took away with it. Everything you were saying, I'm like, damn, match up.
But look at it like this way. Is it really the Bible stuff becoming true? Or is it people making it come true to match up with that?
If you look at it, it's both at the same time.
Both at the same. Well,
so those people are pulling out and making what God said what happened in the Bible come true.
Yeah.
Because
technically it is true exactly. If they're using it because of that, then it is at the same time. Like retroactively, it's the same thing.
So it also tells us that it will be a person to reveal himself and say he is God.
When he is not.
But we know as Christians not to believe in what the hell happens in Project Bluebeam because we already prepped and ready in the Bible.
I believe, I'm just going to say Cody. I believe you guys spoke about that before, didn't you? You said talking about
possibly
like, the actual stuff in the Bible.
Yeah.
You were like, you both were talking about it for a second. You're like, you don't even know about that stuff, like talking about me. And I was like, well, then tell me. Yeah. Educate me.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so like a lot of things that's like happening in the world today, especially right now with Israel and Palestine. I won't go anything on that. But like it's super biblical and like it's almost weird, you know.
Well, I mean, they are in
how they,
like the Bible land.
Yeah.
Like
Israel,
America was never involved in the Bible, so
no, it's not.
It's Jerusalem and such. So
yeah, that's freaking true. The Holy Land,
the supposed Holy Land.
But like that's why like Project Bluebeam stands out to me a lot, is because I'm like that's freaking right here about to happen. The Antichrist want to do this. Because you said something early about the Antichrist and Project Bluebeam tied in together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so,
well, the being itself, again, is supposed to be an Antichrist, but also it's not to be known that it's an Antichrist. That's what it is. As far as our perception, it's supposed to be, again, the second coming.
Is that the 5% why you don't believe Antichrist?
I mean, I guess I can't break down the Antichrist personally. I don't know enough information on the Antichrist besides like anti-Christ.
Yeah.
You know, and my handful of movies of just demon babies being the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
And
but
the mark of the beast, bro.
Side note before we get to that.
Go ahead.
On the Project Bluebeam stuff, it also said from what alien abductions are, like whatever they have been without being actually alien abductions, they're going to use that, like simulate that to be what's the rapture. Make Christians believe that people are being raptured by doing these abductions. Damn. Isn't that kind of crazy? So they're really laying into like
crazy, bro. Because I've been seeing a whole bunch of, I don't know if you have.
I just keep remembering
videos of people that's like just disappearing out of nowhere.
Yeah, just
have y'all been seeing that?
Yeah,
comment.
I'll try to put something up on the screen for that because that's some wild stuff.
A lot of these videos right here, people just somehow just disappear, and everybody that's still there just freaks the hell out.
And it's hard because it's so easy to edit stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's a lot of them though. Maybe they
hopping on a trend.
Maybe they shooting the Left Behind movie and somebody freaking edited the film and.
Yeah, but I mean, anything. It's easy to just remove someone from a frame like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, nowadays I should say.
Yeah, but the reactions of the people around him kind of freaks them
True.
out. So maybe what you're saying has already been tested somewhere else.
It might be. Can you imagine?
So you
'Cause
got to
if
open
they're
their
sitting out
mind.
at a cafe eating food and just bam, they're gone,
Yeah.
that means you could be taken at any moment. That's what I'm saying. If we disappear,
Bruh.
look into it.
God got me. I don't know about. I'm playing. I'm messing.
God
with you,
got
bro.
me because Shaq got me.
Yeah,
and God's
I
got
got you.
Shaq.
I wish I could take
All
you
right.
with me, boy.
It's a chain link type of deal. You ever
I
watch
wish
This Is
I
the
could
End?
Take you with me.
You ever
Huh?
watch This Is the End?
Yeah, I've seen This Is the End. It's
So,
hilarious.
I think it's Jay. Jay gets to fly up. Or no. It's Seth Rogen. He gets to go up. And he's like, come on, grab my hand. He pulls them up, whatever, but it starts dragging them down.
Yeah.
So Jay has to drop down, and then he has to learn to believe himself, and then he gets to go up with Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
That'll be us.
And then they cut the devil's
If it
dick
comes
off.
down to it, bro, I'll tell you what. The only reason I ain't got a problem with worrying about if there is like a heaven I won't go or not, because I'm a genuinely good person.
That's true, but hey, all I gotta say
decisions.
to you, for me, because you know I want to be with my boy up in heaven like this.
Fucking party.
That's what we doing. Yeah.
For eternity.
God, you say I could turn up? Yeah, can I get some of that water turned in? And why you got?
I got some
Give me
questions
some of that
about
water. Hold on.
heaven for you. At one
Oh,
point.
wait.
I'm not even saying today.
If we get through any of these conspiracies and they come through true, right? Like Project Bluebeam happen, you start to see that, and then you like, you know what? Let me just look in the Bible. What they say? God dang, that match up. Boom, rapture happening. End of the world is happening. Before that goddamn hole in the ground take you, just say, I give my soul to you, Lord Jesus Christ. And I believe that you sent your only son to die for my sins with that 1% faith of a mustard seed. And then
Bruh.
we both be dancing and we both be going up like this.
I ain't a quitter though.
So you saying you're going to cradle to the grave, take it to the...
I mean, like, if I believe, I've got to go to the grave with my belief.
I'm trying to understand the chemistry in your brain,
It's
brother.
a principle thing. I'm a man of principles.
But when you look at the earth...
I'm not going to be like,
So-
okay, I don't believe it makes no sense. And then like, well, just in case, I'll accept Jesus into my heart.
So when you look at the earth
It's unfaithful to myself.
and this beautiful creation, even though the humans on it suck,
Yeah.
you just think this is a great and a wonderful coincidence.
I don't know. Things aren't really that great for it to be like that special. You know what I'm saying?
See, you ain't seen enough. We got to get out. Y'all go to our Patreon, get on the Discord.
Yeah, once things get moving, we're going to pop some real fun stuff on the Patreon. So.
We're soon, hopefully really soon, depending on you watching this, we're going to take super deep dives and actually get in the field and outside of this room with our Morr-isMoore and more. We're going to be taking trips to places like freaking Egypt ourselves, put our eyes on the goddamn situation and lies, touch them, get some of the guides out there to take us a little deeper and back where we're not supposed to go and show us the truth. We're going to go into Amazon and we're going to see where the lost city of gold is for ourselves. And we're going to show it and bring it to y'all. So y'all be ready for that.
GoPros
Come on,
and
man.
all sorts, man.
Hidden cameras.
Hidden.
We gotta get in the gym, bro. So we could be ready
I
to
know,
run
we
from
gotta
the
hit the
cannibals
gym.
out there.
Cannibals?
Go,
Like the pythons, bro.
go.
Yeah, we just need to wear like suits of literal metal.
Yeah. So they'd be like, aliens.
That'd be some like get like, you know, out of your skin type stuff. But like,
Yeah.
man, it'd be so cool.
It
We're
would.
not. I can't envision either of us like sugarcoating or like somebody swaying our minds. We're always gonna keep it real. We're always gonna say
That's
what we're gonna
facts.
think.
That's facts.
Like a
That's
lot
big
of people
facts.
probably don't appreciate that I'm not religious or whatnot.
No, it's a lot of people out there that just don't know and that feel exactly the same as you. Some that feel exactly
True.
the same as me, or somebody watching like, I wish he would shut the hell up. He's annoying. Race, get on his ass.
Vice versa, especially.
Exactly. Well, yeah. Not supposed to. We don't judge people.
No, not in that way.
But Christians do judge people. It's annoying.
That's the whole point, though. Is okay. Let me ask you a question right now.
Go ahead, bro.
Do you ever feel? Is there something like in your head of like, I'm gonna turn this man into a believer?
No, but I'm gonna let you know what I know.
Okay, because in the same way, I don't have an end goal of.
I mean, if you were to be like, you know what, I found God, that would be great. Like, what the hell? That's dope.
But you're not expecting to change my mind.
No, I'm not. That's not the objective here.
And see, the same thing for me. My objective is not to turn you into a non-believer, because I would never want to take something like that from you. If it was even a possibility, is my point. I'm not saying it is a possibility.
No, I know.
But that would be wrong in its own.
Exactly why people should tune in to the Morr-isMoore podcast is because we yin and we're yang.
We yin and we yang.
Where I'm black, you white.
You're black.
Opposites attract. I believe you don't. But we could sit here, have a non-heated conversation without tossing these mics to the side and throwing up hands.
Yeah, and still love each other to death, bro.
Exactly. We're at a crazy understanding, you know?
100%.
So like, but if you one day are like, you find yourself in a predicament where you find God,
there's a lot of people that want me to do that.
Then you could do that.
There's
You'd be
a
like,
lot of people.
Shaq, I believe in reincarnation. Now I'm a Buddhist.
You know what my...
I'll be like, all right, good for you, bro.
I'll say shout out to my sister here. She tried to get me to go with my wife, but also you to church, like to her church, after listening to the first episode. And not because she's like, oh, he needs Jesus, you know, but more of like she was...
You do need Jesus. No.
She was interested in what I had to say, and supposedly like her pastor gives a lot of like good answers and, you know, to like certain questions and whatnot. So she said, it might be interesting if you guys were to speak to each other. Like you say what, you know, you think and see what he has to say about it.
I speak to pastor.
Yeah. Well, I said, hey, maybe we can have a pastor on here at some point.
Nah, pastor on. Come on here.
Wait, what do you go on?
But I speak to pastor. Pastor, if you seeing this, please speak to us, okay? And when we see you, if his sister can set it up, we'll
there ain't
talk
nothing
to you.
bad.
No.
I mean, especially somebody that's job is to be well versed with the Bible.
No, but the thing is about you, he'll say something and you'll be like, thinking, logic. Yeah, that don't make sense. Shut the hell up. Me, I'm like, oh, okay, I understand that. Because I believe. So it's kind of hard to, like, hit a wall of, like,
It's even
chisel
better.
at it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, all day you're talking to people that believe, and you're just strengthening their belief. So why not have a conversation with somebody that doesn't have anything there? That'll really test your faith. That's the whole point.
Of course.
That's
I mean,
the whole point.
and that's what Christians are supposed to do.
Have their faith tested.
Is go out here and be a witness to other people. Like, and get the word of Christ into the hands of people who don't know, because it's the truth. So I can't blame nobody for trying to do that. But it's also another story where this guy, I believe it's an island off of, I haven't told you anything about this. It's an island off of Australia, I believe, somewhere. This dude had the Bible. He's like, and it's you can look this up. I'm sure Race will probably pop something up about it.
Yeah.
It's an island of people who won't allow anyone in the world to come there. They speak their own language. I believe they're cannibals. They've never had the reach of God or seen a book or know what the hell a book is. It's just themselves. They walk around in whatever kind of underwear they got, and they fish in the ocean, and they enjoy freaking life. And the dude got on a freaking boat, and he was like, let's go there and try to give them the word of God and save these guys, because they don't even know what God is. But in their own perception, they probably see the stars and moons and the earth and know that there's a God. Or they all like, well, I don't believe in nothing. I just want to catch this fish, feed my family, live. Atheist.
Instincts.
Yeah. So he gets on this boat.
You're not really atheist if you don't have an option.
Well, so you have So having options makes,
Well-
but not accepting them makes you an atheist. But what if
Again,
you? But what if you have no knowledge whatsoever about anything?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't like being in a box. Don't put me in a box.
No, I'm not.
I know. I'm just kidding.
I'm not.
What I'm saying is, if you have no knowledge of like the existence of religion, the idea of religion or gods, where you put yourself at, you're not there at all. It's not part of your universe.
See, but now you got to go all the way back in time before we could even write on pages, and we're looking. I mean, caveman times.
Quick question.
What?
What do you think about animals?
You get me off track. You off the story. Wait.
I know I do.
So anyway, this dude.
I'll put a pin in it.
All right. This dude, he goes to this freaking island, backing up to it, getting close to the shore, and they freaking spear him to death. They kill the hell out this man.
Oh yeah.
They killed the hell out that dude. They
You're
won't
a demon as far as
allow
they're
or
concerned.
let anybody come there. Yeah, he was a demon to them. You don't believe in demons, but
I believe in the demons inside.
but yeah. So go again. You said, what do I think about animals? Elaborate.
Do you think animals have the same soul as humans do?
Souls?
Mm-hmm. Because this could bleed into reincarnation, a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm going to try to keep it in
No,
line.
I seen a movie where freaking a dog dies and they keep reincarnating.
Yeah.
Was that A Dog's Life or something like that? But
I think you're right.
yeah. But
Nice.
you know, it's hard for me to say, like, are you saying, like, if a dog dies, he goes to heaven or hell? Oh, you're a good boy, or you're a bad boy.
No, take all that out
I
of your
don't think
head.
the judgment of animals are the same as humans. No.
So all I'm saying is, what happens to an animal when it dies?
I have no idea.
You don't think we'd be in the same, like...
We're not. I mean, we're humanity. We're animals, but again, gray matter.
That's fair. Well, I mean, everything living has a soul.
That in itself, I don't personally believe in or know.
So it cuts off at humans for you.
Well, superior beings, us, yeah.
Okay. So are animals God's creation?
Yes.
Okay. So do they have free will as far as you're concerned?
No, they have instincts. Animal instincts.
I understand that, but free will isn't just being able to process your next action. It's doing without being
Well, I mean, they have the free
preordained.
will to take a damn nap, get up, go hunt.
Well, they have
something,
free will to
and
choose that
survive.
prey over this prey.
But an animal is too worried about in the wilderness. What the hell is my next meal?
Yeah.
Me and my lioness, dude, and a pack of lions, got to freaking hunt to survive.
I mean,
it's all about survival, bro.
What do we do every day?
You think we're surviving?
We're surviving.
We're surviving.
Yeah.
So you get to get up every morning, go to work, get your coffee, and survive.
I don't get a coffee necessarily, but yeah, I mean, you are working to get an income to survive. Otherwise, you're on the streets.
That ain't true for everybody.
Technically,
So them dudes on the island, right?
Yeah.
They just trying to survive.
yeah.
They wake up to
We're
make money,
trying to survive.
make money, and try to survive.
It's just more complicated in our realm.
It's different. It's
You try to
survival,
survive mental
true
health,
animal instinct survival.
income, relationships,
Mm-hmm.
housing. It's survival in a different. It's survival in a different level, but it's still survival.
Okay, I'm trying to get what you're trying to say here.
I'm just saying we're not that different from animals, and I don't think animals don't have free will because they can't talk.
Okay.
I mean, I think that talking is as connected to the consciousness that we talk about.
Well,
okay, I guess my original point was, do animals have a soul, and are they supposed to go to heaven or hell? Because if so,
I have no idea.
How would they go to heaven if they can't accept Christ?
But it's animals in heaven.
Okay, so if you believe that, then you do believe they'd go to heaven then.
I do not have the expertise.
Okay. But if they're going to, if you know there are animals in heaven, wouldn't it be reasonable to say that
those animals in heaven are majestic, though? They're
majestic?
It's like...
What's that mean? Like unicorns?
Like sitting next to God. Freaking lion who has eyes on his body. Like, he look different than something here on Earth. They're different type of animals and created in Earth.
Okay. That's fair.
So not necessarily Cooper dies and you see him in heaven because he was a good boy.
He better go to heaven, bro.
Or what? You gonna get there and tell God, hey, I ain't believing you anyway. Where the hell is Cooper?
I'm gonna say, I don't give a fuck if I get in. Just let my homeboy dog in, bro. He's been a real good boy.
And then what if Cooper show up and then he can talk to you?
Cooper?
You ain't never get me enough snacks.
Yeah, no, he'd probably say a whole bunch of stuff.
Poppy. So you try to give me a shot? What's going on?
Don't talk about Poppy, bro.
You know I was a good
Leave
girl.
her out of this.
Good
Lord.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else on the docket? I know that we're at 1:21. We're about that time zone we want to be, but
yeah,
I'm still down to talk about a couple more things. That kind of deal if you want. We've kind of talked about everything we wanted to catch up on previously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, we're probably going to start, we're going to get a background picture now that we got this beautiful tapestry set up. We're going to put on the Patreon, the YouTube background, that type of deal. We'll make a new one once I get my Morr-isMoore hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
And apart from that, we'll get the Patreon and start going on. So if anybody's interested in that, more stuff you guys can, which will enable Discord and extra content. We'll put some background stuff on there. Again, ad-free listening if you don't want to watch through YouTube or so on and so forth. And as of this moment, we don't have anything else on anywhere besides YouTube, but we will. And the last episode, I did speak about a Twitter, which I guess is now X, and then a Facebook. I still have to make those two accounts. So that's why you're not seeing those, but they will be on there, respectively.
We grow as fast as you guys let us share, smash that like
We have had a lot of support.
Yeah,
hella
for sure.
support.
For sure.
And I love it. I'm excited for it, and I really want to see, who gets to tune into this episode and see what's going on there.
Hell yeah. Are we going to give a drop date? What's up? We doing?
For this one, man, I mean, let me look at the calendar here, bro.
If you watching, drop date coming soon. We need to pick
this is
one.
really a coming soon.
Or you want to do like a drop every week?
I want to get this dropped by Friday, which I believe is the 3rd or the 4th.
All right. And if this is out and you haven't seen any of our shorts, go check them out.
Yeah, we've
Shorts,
got 4
reels,
coming down the way. We
were
going to have a teaser video prior to the first episode. We kind of just filmed on the fly, so we're trying to get it the best way as possible. It will never be perfect because,
for sure,
we just did it real quick, but we're pretty proud.
Yeah.
It'll be a little funny, especially goofy for the people that know us. It'll be a little goofy time. So y'all see a bunch of those popping through. We're going to make a few shorts of just parts of the podcast, get some people interested, stuff like that, and really build up some content,
Yeah.
And that's the deal. So, but yeah, all of my friends and family that have been watching this, mad
Thank
respect.
you guys.
Appreciate and love you guys.
Same here, all my friends, family. I appreciate you, man. I love y'all. This is the
Morr-isMoore
podcast.
Morr-isMoore
podcast. Thank you guys for coming through that rabbit hole. And now
means a lot to us.
we're about to kick you back out. Go home.
Bye, guys.